The following is an edited version of a live that I did in my Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/energy sensitives. The timing was significant as it was August. It was during the Lionsgate portal period where the energy is super high and there's a lot happening energetically. I had also not too long before been interviewed by Lee Carroll, who channels Cryon. So that was also a very significant event. I had an angel visitation in my room, and it was also connected with the client who was to see me the next day. So I talk about that as well as the notion of being a messenger, being an angel messenger, feeling like you're an earth angel, working with the angels, and some messages that had come through. So I just thought I would share it with you. I've gone ahead and edited it, so enjoy. Last night I had this really amazing experience where an angel appeared in my room. I didn't see it, I felt it, and it was a really, really, really massive presence. And I was really tired and not feeling the best and a bit drained and trying to do some work on my laptop. So you know how it is when you want to tick things off your list, and I just had that one or two little things that I needed to do and I didn't want to leave it for the next day. And so I didn't pay as much attention as I could have because I was so drained. But I just wanted to share about it with you. I just felt this really, really big angelic presence. So first, just generally angels around, which, you know, I work with angels and I know how they feel, but just been a regular day in my life. It was a bit of a sort of surprise visitation, and at the same time it makes a lot of sense because I was working on some documents connected to angels because I want to be teaching and sharing more about angels, and there's so many topics that I want to be sharing that I've just got so much going on in that way that I haven't been able to bring out to people yet. And I'd realized that it's time to talk about angels more because that's so my thing, and it's really how all of this started. You know, the work that I do, and it's so connected to all the work that I do, and as you might be able to see now, it makes me so happy and it brings this radiance. So I had a client today, and you know that it's all connected. Anyway, so last night, so I'm sitting in bed typing on my laptop, and actually I've just realized, oh my god, right in the spot where I'm standing now, I never do messages from this position. I just realized now it's actually right here. That is funny. So I'm actually standing in the energy where the angel was. So there was angels, but this one angel was massive, just like so big, just this massive, massive presence. And it felt so nice, and it was so, I can't explain it. Maybe you can feel that on me or sense it. It was a really, really big, big feeling. So what I had realized on that day is about teaching about angels. I was writing all these documents about angels, and then all day I kept seeing 444, 444 everywhere, and my email kept being 444 emails. So every now and again I'd go through without thinking, you know, deleting an email, more would come in, la la la, and it kept being 444 all the time, and I was just seeing it everywhere. And that's just the most massive angel number, and it's just another confirmation if you see those numbers or variations of fours and all the angel numbers. But anyway, and then so the angel was giving this message. So let me just read you something. So first of all, I happened to be at that moment writing about angels, about earth angels, and I was just writing in my document that angels send human messengers, right? And one of the reasons why I'm doing this live is I thought maybe it will activate some more knowing or some more messages, because I did cut it off short and I knew that they had more to say. Funny, I'm standing in the spot now. So I've known for a long time that I'm very connected with the angels, and that connection to the angels is so strong for some of us. And there's been times where I've even wondered, and I feel safe enough to say so, you know, in this group, whether I actually am or have been one. And I know that sounds, so I've not quite worked that out yet, but it came to me one time, and something came to me one time where I was at the mall and I realized how much I have this inclination, like so many of us do, who do the light work, who are, you know, who are soul types, that we want to help people so much. And I realized that I felt like, because I guide people, right, in this kind of work, as so many of us do, And I felt like I've been a guide before, like a spirit guide. And here I am being an active human one. So there's that. They're just all thoughts, because what I do is when I think about things, because I've always been such a big spiritual thinker, I let them sit for a while until it all makes sense, until I have my truth. So I'm just sharing that. But I know that I'm an earth angel, as many of us are in these groups. So an earth angel just being someone who has that angelic energy, who's very in touch with the angels, and or acts like an angel on earth in some way. And we can just be regular people. We have problems just like anyone else. We're not perfect. There's no like, you know, special thing that, you know, but I mean, it is special. I guess I want to say it's okay to say and feel like you're special and you've got this amazing soul and mission, and it doesn't make you. Why do we add this caveat or this disclaimer that we are not special, we're not trying to be? It's kind of, you know, both. It's because we're humble, but I know that I can share it. Like I can say something like with people like yourselves that I feel proud when I do something, and it's not an ego pride. It's like, oh, wow, I did it, you know, or something like that. So I know you'll understand, and sorry if I'm all over the place right now. So I was writing that earth angels do pass on messages that are sent through angels, and they enact moments of kindness, and things that can appear spontaneous, random, can be interweavings of the angels who have whispered in someone's ear. So take note now of like when you've had those moments where you've just said something to someone and it's like the angels just worked through you. You might not have even realized, or you might have had an inkling that it came from a higher source. And you know, because you're nudged to help people in that way, or to send messages, or be somewhere in some place. I love when you send hearts. Thank you for sending the hearts. I always love those. So I was just writing, they send earth people to enact kindness as angels themselves. Angels just told me right now, so they were starting to come in, that we earth angels are light keepers. We are guardians of the light, being activated right now. At the time I wrote that, I just felt so activated and charged up, I was hearing all these frequencies. And then the angels were sending frequencies through my ears. And then realizing that sometimes you know something, but then you kind of realize it, or you know, or is it extra validation? Like, you know, you're an empath, but then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I really know. Like yesterday I was thinking, I really am sensitive. I've always known I'm sensitive. I know I'm sensitive, but I realized I really am. It's like a double knowing. Then I had the triple knowing of the angelic connection, which comes in divine timing for so many different reasons, because it's needed right now on earth, because we're here for a reason and a mission. And so many of us have this natural feeling and knowing that we're connected with the angels, and that the angels are just something we feel a familiarity with on some level, like there's a remembering on some level, and to just trust in that, and that is something that carries me through in all the work that I do. So anyway, so I was just writing all of that and feeling all of that frequencies, and then I wrote down these words from the angel. We are the gatekeepers, the keepers of the light. We are here to guide and nudge you along your soul's path. We transmit higher frequencies. Then they said, the one that you see tomorrow. So then they started giving me a message about my client that I was to see the next day, who I just saw earlier today. So I won't read that bit, but they're pretty much saying at the beginning of that she has been called and sent your way. I will add this bit. Her light radiates, as does yours. And then her private message. Okay, so I find that people will just, the right clients for me are the ones who come to me just for whatever reason. They just felt something. The angels will send them. It will just happen. So many times, like the one today is like, you know, the way that they come through is just funny. And sometimes for other people, they might be just typing randomly on the internet, and then somehow, you know, they come across something of mine on the internet, and it all just happens that way. So the angels sort of interweave all of that. I wanted to say too that sometimes when I receive a message, I don't always know what some things mean, or I feel like I need to sit on it, or I'm not going to know. So for example, a recent email that I sent out, there was a line, something like to take the metro out of Metropolis, and that bit, I don't know exactly what it meant. I probably have some vague ideas, but I was moving on with all these messages, so I didn't have time to think about it. But I wrote in the email, let me know if you've got ideas of what that might mean. And I had someone reply to me and say like her interpretation, which was perfect and just so great. So maybe I'll share that another time. So I wanted to ask you, the line that I got, we are the gatekeepers, the keepers of light, it has two meanings for me in terms of we are, as in us light workers, but also they are. So the angels or these high frequency beings coming through with their messages. And I wanted to ask you, have you heard of gatekeepers or keepers of light? The only thing I can think of right now is that there are some oracle cards, I think maybe called the gatekeepers of light or the keepers of light or something like that. Let me know if you know anything about that or have some thoughts on that, or what comes up for you. The angel thing is just coming through so strong now, so I know that angel teachings are going to need to come up, but I always have so much that I'm doing, so much that I'm putting together, so I'll see how that all fits in. The other way this all connects is that I was interviewed by Lee Carroll, who channels Cryon. That's a whole other story of its own. But the connection here is that, you know, we're talking about this higher energy sort of awareness and angels, and my talk is on angels and my experiences with angels. So that's quite exciting, and this is a really big deal for me because Lee Carroll is very well known in the spiritual communities, like for ages now, since the 90s. So this is really big. But everything sort of connects because sometimes we make ourselves small before we know something big is coming. That's another message today. That's something I was doing to myself leading up to this Cryon event, which I realized, not in a massive way, but I recognized that that was a message like that I was going through. Everything connects now because now everything comes big. So such as leading up to the Lionsgate portal, everything is the breakdown bits, and we can go through it amongst all of that before the breakthrough. So there's always that sort of, we go through those periods of that. What do you think about, I mean, let me know, what do you think about angels? How do you feel? How do you feel connected? Do you feel like you're an earth angel? Do you think it's possible for someone to be an angel, actually be an angel as a human, or be, like, have been one before, or will be, or that's their divine essence, or they'll return to that, right? Because some of us have souls that are connected to the angelic realms, very much so. So I know I'm one of those, and I'm very just connected to that energy. And that's all that really matters. I think that I've realized, so for those of us who work with the angels, which I love to say, it's quite funny, you know, like, what do you do? I work with the angels. What do you do? I'm a lawyer. You know, a lot of us who either work with the angels or just love angels or sort of connect in here and there, we forget a lot of the times too, because we can bring the angels into our daily life so much. So that's what I want to be sharing and teaching more about and encouraging people with. And because I've realized, again, it's that double realize, you already know, but sometimes you need to be reminded, and then off you go on the next level. So that's where I am right now. We can work with them every day, like talk to them. You know, I often do talk to them, but sometimes I forget, right, about every little thing. And they're here for us, and that's really what they want to say. They are here for us in this crazy world. You've just got to trust in things, trust in yourself, trust in the energy, trust that when times are hard, because it is for so many people are unhappy, so many people are going through it rough, and then some of us, we get, well, probably all of us get sick of it, right? Sick of this whole thing, sick of all this friggin' ascension craziness and earth craziness, and people and how they react and all that stuff. Everything will be okay. We're here for a reason. It's going to get better. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not here to say it's going to be perfect and all amazing. You guys know that. So one of the things is, I don't like when people say, when's it all going to end? When is this going? Because it's not, you know, it's ongoing, right? But we're getting there. It's the spiral. So if you have listened to my podcast episode called something like Old Souls on the Evolutionary Path or something like that, I talk about how time is more like a spiral, and our ascension is like a spiral. Our going up, we go up like a spiral versus the horizontal timeline. And actually the idea is that as we evolve, so let's say we go up a bit because we're in the great part of the Lionsgate portal and there's high activation energy. And then when we go down though, we don't go down to where we were and down to that more 3D level and the same thing. We go down, but it's not as bad as before until then we rise up the corkscrew again. And so that's how it goes. And so hopefully that helps you sort of conceive the idea of, oh, it's so hard and when's it ever going to end and all that stuff, because we are rising up and it's a process. Sending you lots of love and angelic blessings. Okay, bye everyone. Lots of love. See you.